are going to have and talk about it further with Javed Rana, who is joining us live from the Pakistani capital to give us the latest updates on developments that happened today. Javed, welcome. Let's start by saying that. And it is important that to highlight to our audience that we have been actually talking about the election before the election happened, and you were saying that a complication like this was likely to happen. So it did happen. What would you say about this?
I think despite the mess of people reading, we have witnessed today that there was a reasonable percentage of turnout. It may be called about, maybe called average, but officially I have not seen the announcement about the number of the people who have cast their vote. But I think the calculation that the policymakers within the military and intelligence establishment had, it seems those have gone wrong. Number one, there was a large number of people who emerged on the polling stations to cast their vote. And going by what I have now so far monitored, PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf of Imran Khan, the jailed popular leader, it is a leading. Now the party is, legally speaking, is not there in the election row, but the loyalists of Imran Khan are contesting elections in their individual capacity. But again, we have to be very conscious about these election results. There are still unconfirmed reports. It only indicates ongoing trends in Pakistan, which suggest that perhaps 6 to 10% total votes have been now counted. And that trend does show that Imran Khan's party is winning. Now in Pakistan, what matters the most is not how many people cast vote in favor of any particular political party, but in what manner those votes are counted. Our country's powerful military and intelligence establishment, in league with the civil bureaucracy and lower judiciary, in the past it has been at the heart of the controversy. At the heart of the controversy of manipulating general elections. And this time around, once again, we are receiving reports, particularly from Pakistan's seaport city, Karachi, and also in the central part of Pakistan, that there is some sort of rigging is taking place. There are reports that the polling agent of the opposition party of either arrested, or in many cases the results from the polling stations were snatched from the political agents. So these are unconfirmed reports, but there are plausible allegations going by the track record. It could possibly be true. So, and then there are also reports that the PTI agents, the party of Imran Khan, they have been pushed away from the polling stations, and not everyone among them is part of the counting process in parts of Pakistan. So this indicates that what we are talking about now, about the trends of Imran Khan's party winning, and tomorrow in the morning the result may be changed. It may be changed altogether. At this point of time, it cannot be predicted, given the fact that Pakistan's military has crossed all the limits, historically speaking, to make it sure that Imran Khan's party does not win. The top leader has been jailed on flimsy corruption charges and also on what appears to be hilarious treasonous charges. So I think, let's see how things unfold. But as we speak, things are, I think, in favor of PTI.
So let's talk about the results. They started to come out, as you were mentioning. The security concerns was a highly important process, and I would like to ask you about that. Do you think the mobile network suspension was a bright side for the security concern, or it was a downside for it? What would you say about the security of the network and everything? Because I know that you are still having a problem with the networking as well.
Well, this is ununderstandable as to why the internet service the wireless internet service, the mobile service has been suspended. It doesn't make sense because the troubles were in parts of Pakistan, in Pakistan's southwestern part of Pakistan, where there were some areas where terrorists are operating. I don't understand what was the reason, apparently, to basically shut down the entire mobile network. What sense does it make? It does make only one sense, and that has been the pattern. Basically, the government picked by the caretaker government, picked by the military, they have managed these elections in a manner that the large number of the people do not turn up on the polling station. We have seen that the polling started in Pakistan's biggest city quite late, couple of hours late, and at some polling booths, even polling did not take place. And then there are also videos which I have seen where the candidates from the other parties, they are simply throwing away these ballot papers. They are spoiling these ballot papers. That indicates that something big is happening in Pakistan's city Lahore, the eastern city of Lahore. There are also reports that the polling agents and the members of mainstream opposition party PTI, they have been pushed away from the polling stations, and there are also reports that somewhere the polling agents have also been either have been detained. And as I reported earlier on, the bigger issue here is that there are provisional results which every polling station releases after the counting take place. So by suspending these mobile services, actually it seems that the intelligence agencies of Pakistan and run by country's military, they are engaged in a kind of a rigging which you may call it at an industrial scale. Because if they snatch away the final results given by a presiding officer at a polling station, that means then those results would be changed. And then they also printed double ballot papers, which means that these stamped ballot papers could also be replaced. So there's a lot of manipulations is going on, and we cannot say with authority that the PTI would win the election. But one thing really it does indicate that despite the fact that the top leaders in jail, despite the fact that the large number of PTI's parties members, senior members have deserted the party, their organizational setup was destroyed. The people who are now supporting Imran Khan, a large number of them are the new ones. I mean, they were not in the party either, or they were in a dormant position. In a situation when the party did not have an organized setup, large number of people have turned out on the polling stations, and they exercise their right of vote in favor of PTI. That is itself is an extraordinary event happening in Pakistan. The competition seems to be very tough now. Despite all these hurdles that the PTI face, it seems to be on a winning spree. But again, in what manner these election results are going to be changed, or there is also possibility that PTI's members may genuinely lose election in some of the constituencies, because they are also facing a political parties who have been backed by the military and intelligence setup by the police in making it sure that they win the election days before, weeks before, months before the holding of general election, because there is a kind of a system whereby in a systematic manner police has been used against the opposition members.
Let's talk about Nawaz Sharif though, because he is considered as a front runner in these elections, and he has emphasized the need for a clear majority in the elections, which he also said that the coalition government won't solve the Pakistan's problems. What would you say about that? And also, given the potential fractured results that we have been talking about, I would like to know how realistic is the wish for a clear majority, because things are hectic there, and what could be the implications of a coalition government?
Well, when the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif says that he needs a clear majority, He is not asking this to the people of Pakistan to cast vote in his favor. No, going by the track record, he is launching an appeal to the military to rig the election at a large scale so that he can win the election. That is what exactly he did in 2013. After a couple of hours, he declared himself that he's a winner, despite the fact he wasn't winner, basically sending a message to everybody who's a part of in the counting process to rig election in his favor. Everybody knows that the PMLN, the party of the Nawaz Sharif, does not have much public support, and going by all the surveys, there has been a consensus among an independent analysts in Pakistan that had there been not people rigging, had the PTI would have been allowed to have an equal grounds, level playing field in the elections, they could have easily won these elections. So as a matter of fact, these top politicians, they're not politicians, they are the power brokers. They engage themselves in wheeling and dealing with the military who ensure that they win the elections. So this, and then again, if PTI wins the election for the sake of the arguments, then the biggest trouble that they would face would be that their candidates would be kidnapped, would be illegally detained. Because that has been the track record. In many cases, they were forced to withdraw their candidature against the candidates on the voice of the military. And in a similar fashion, that episode could also be repeated, and that would happen given the fact that, legally speaking, these loyalists of Imran Khan, they can join any political party because Imran Khan's party was disfranchised on political considerations. So I think there are many ifs and buts. What is going to happen within the next couple of hours? But as we speak, PTI is certainly giving a very, very, very tough time. Let's go back. It's one political party, but it has a known track record. It has been murdering people. It has been basically hijacking the entire country, southwestern Sindh province at one point of time, and then the military had to launch an operation against it in 2016, and this party was contained. But now, once again, there are credible reports accusing, whereby the intelligence agencies have been accused that they are encouraging MKM once again. And now they are engaging themselves in all kind of methods which are illegal, immoral, to make sure that the PTI does not run from the biggest city of Pakistan.
So let's talk about the waters a little bit, because with the Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan and the other participants, it is a hectic situation. What role do you think the young voters playing in this election, shaping the Pakistan's future political landscape? Because and I would also like to know who is the favorite in the amongst the young people.
Well, among 240 million population of Pakistan, 65 to 70% people are the youngsters. And I would say at least 90 to 95% of youngsters, they support Imran Khan. That is the reality. That is the main strength of Imran Khan, because he has worked over the years to win over youngsters. And that is why that we have seen now that the youngsters have, as a matter of fact, challenged the military, particularly on the social media. They've been criticizing military in a manner that we did not see in the past, and the military thought that they would be able to make and break government in a similar fashion that it used to do in the past. But we have seen now the election results that it did not happen. They convicted Imran Khan on flimsy political grounds, on flimsy corruption charges. The very purpose was that to cause disappointment among people, to let them to stay indoor and not cast vote in favor of Imran Khan. That did not work. These younger population, they came in a large number, and then they also coordinated to bring more and more people on the polling station. But again, the military was conscious of the fact what military considers that the Imran Khan has spoiled Pakistan's younger generation. He has introduced an abuse of culture. And military chief and also some other journals, they try to address youngsters, thousands of youngsters during last couple of days, and then they face a very tough questions from them. So I think it is a younger generation of Pakistan which hold key in which direction Pakistan is going to lead in future. And that is where I think that key lies with Imran Khan. And my understanding of the situation is that it will be extremely difficult for the military to keep Imran Khan in jail in coming days and weeks, because even if his party is not allowed to win the election, that means what we are seeing now and what we have seen during last couple of weeks and months, that is going to be a recipe for more political instability in Pakistan. That means the economy would stay derailed. It cannot be put back on track unless there is a genuine political stability. The military cannot create political stability in Pakistan by undertaking cohesive measures to contain a political party by resorting to illegal detention, by resorting to kidnapping, by resorting to torturing, by resorting to storming and bulldozing the houses of the loyalists of Imran Khan, by using police and other state authorities. So, and remember, military does not have any legal role to play in politics in Pakistan. Nonetheless, they have been playing more than 30 years. They have been in a direct rule, and whenever they were not in direct rule, then they were remotely controlling everything, as we witness now. Now everybody in Pakistan, and I believe also outside Pakistan, they know that it is the military which has been calling shots. Americans have been directly dealing with the military. It's the military which is running Pakistan's foreign policy. And now it's a combination of so many factors, domestic and international factors, because of which the military is trying to contain Imran Khan, and they have so far failed, and I don't think it would be able to have any success story in future.
Well, in the light of these, it is actually also important to highlight the violence that is happening, because we were talking about young people and how they are supporting a certain candidate, and the violence targeting the specific candidates also, and in the regions, different regions, we've seen a little bit more problems, I guess. So can we consider these elections truly inclusive and representative of diverse Pakistani population?
Surely, it's not inclusive. The largest political party, the most popular political party, it was disfranchised by the Election Commission of Pakistan and then by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. On what ground? It may be a mockery of justice when the Election Commission and the top court of Pakistan said that the PTI did not hold elections within the party. It has violated internal rules and regulation of the party. So they decided to disallow to allot a symbol to the party, because in Pakistan generally, it's a country where illiteracy is prevalent, and that is why the Election Commission allowed certain symbols to the political parties. But in case of PTI, it was not allowed to have any symbol, and as a result of which it was disfranchised. And then mainstream leaders of the PTI, they were detained, they were tortured, they were illegally, they were kidnapped, and then their loved ones were also kidnapped too, and they were blackmailed. Their private videos were made just to make it sure that Imran Khan, they deserted Imran Khan. A large number among them, they deserted them, and Imran Khan was himself put in the jail. So obviously there was no level playing field. A party was disfranchised, and what we are seeing now, that despite the fact that it was sidelined, if the loyalists of Imran Khan now are winning, that is a trend. But now my apprehension is, going by the track record, that there would be problems in the countings, ballot boxes would be replaced, and then you may find that the other political parties which have been favored, which are blue-eyed of the military, they've been made to win. that is an apprehension. But at the same time, we have to also understand that in Pakistan's northwestern province, that it will be very difficult for the military to change election result in every constituency, because there is a tribal structure in Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which borders with Afghanistan, and everybody is armed. And I think those people can resort to violence, can possibly resort to retaliate with violence, with gun attacks. So there, it will be a very difficult task for the military or its intelligence network to rig the election in Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. And elsewhere, I think it may not be that difficult. So far as the reputation of the military is concerned, I think it is the least bothered about, because its intelligence network has been brazenly operating on the streets, kidnapping people directly or through police, and blackmailing people on various grounds. It disallowed PTI to launch a political campaign as other political parties do. I think obviously the PTI was discriminated. But again, the point that you are making, it is a strength of younger population, the youngsters, which has kept the PTI as an active political force. And despite the fact that we have seen now results which does not bode well from the military's perspective, because it means that it could possibly cut down hard on the political role of the military, which it has assumed itself. It is not the constitution of Pakistan, it is not the law of Pakistan, it is the role that they have assumed over the period of time, and that is now is being believed is that playing a critical role in derailing Pakistan's economy and creating a political destabilization.
And about the regional and global geopolitical landscape, like the situation in Afghanistan, impact the new government's challenges and opportunities. What would you consider about that?
Well, the very political motive to bring blue-eyed boys of the military into power is basically to keep Americans pleased, because Americans want to set up military bases in Pakistan to carry out attacks in Afghanistan. That is number one. Number two, Americans want to contain China through Pakistan. And number three, Americans wants Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia particularly wants Pakistan, to normalize ties with an apartheid state of Israel. Imran Khan was obviously very opposed to all these proposals, and was to India's annexation of disputed Kashmir region, despite the fact that there are numerous UN Security Council resolutions to hold referendum there. The military also was working on the plan, when he was a prime minister, to concede to the Indian annexation of Kashmir region. And I think at one point of time, Imran Khan was with the military, but again, then he defied, and now we have seen that his government was overthrown. Apparently, military hasn't done it, because military played behind the scene. Behind the scene, it was a no confidence motion, but the military played a role to purchase his MPs. And then American embassy was also active in creating its clout on the MPs and the allies of Imran Khan's party in 2022. So as a result of which, his government was dislodged. So in that context, I think if he returns to power in any possibility, just for the sake of the arguments, that would mean it does not abode well for Israel, it does not abode well for the Americans, but it does abode well for Pakistan, because Pakistan needs to have an independent foreign policy. Imran Khan is not anti-West as per se. He is just trying to have an independent foreign policy, something which Americans consider as aggressive neutrality. Now, anyone who wants to be a neutral, that is not acceptable to the Americans. So it is a combination of many factors, domestic and international, because of which Imran Khan has been sidelined, he has been victimized, but I think he has shown his muscles. He is not ready to get himself exiled, something which military had offered him to do, but he is refusing to do that. And in his media interaction, he's been blaming the military chief that he has a personal animosity with him. Well, these are the reasons because of which I think now it is becoming for military a very daunting task on how to handle these political events which are going to happen in Pakistan, because by rigging general elections, military in fact is responsible for more political instability in Pakistan in days to come.
Lastly, I would also like to ask you about the security concerns, because this is a top-notch problem. What do you consider most pressing issues facing the new government, which is going to come in a really hectic way, and how might these priorities will be addressed, in your opinion?
Well, I think political stability and economic stability are both interlinked. If there is no political stability, there won't be any economic turnaround. So the biggest challenge for the new government would be how to create a sense or some semblance of political stability. I don't foresee that happening. And then if there is no political stability, there will be economic turnaround. So that is going to be a bigger challenge for the new government. And we don't know at this particular point of time which would be the new government. As we speak, situation is fast changing in Pakistan. But if there is a large-scale rigging, of which there would be certainly evidence, the opposition parties would have evidence, and then that means there will be more hue and cry, and military thinks that they can suppress it by undertaking cohesive measures. I really doubt it would work. But again, the way forward approach is to actually negotiate with the jail leader Imran Khan. Unless the military negotiate with him and settle down on something, I don't think there would be any political stability. Pakistan's economy would stay in a derailed shape as is the situation on ground. There is a high inflation in Pakistan, price hike are going up. And the biggest reason is the political instability, and no one but the military itself is responsible, because it played a key role in dislodging the government of Imran Khan, and his economic reforms as compared to his successor government were far better. The economic indicators were far better during his government than as compared to the successor government. So therefore, I think what military needs to do is basically stop getting itself engaged in social engineering. Every year, in every general election, it manipulates elections and it forces popular political parties to lose elections. So that is the reason because of which we have seen the repeated sting of political instability in Pakistan, and that is the reason that Pakistan has time and again is moving to IMF for more and more bailout package, and when IMF comes in between, that means more inflation, that means more price hike, because it wants more high interest rate, and more high interest rate means that obviously there will be more price hike. So I think it's a combination of many factors which require a political stability, and the bigger problem is that the Pakistan's political parties and politicians, they are more power brokers than the politicians. They go for wheeling and dealing with the military, and they do not approach people in a manner that they deserve. So let's see how things unfold. The very election result of these elections will determine Pakistan's fate.
Jawed, thank you so much for the things that you've shared. I think it was most insightful, and we will be talking about the election results that is unfolding, I hope, in the sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Islamabad, Pakistan. We'll be back to you. Thank you.
The growing tide of anti-Israel sentiments. What you see behind me is just tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the country. More than half of $52 billion black CIA budget is spent on espionage network in Pakistan. How would you handle it?
The US has looked upon Pakistan as an ally at one point and then as an enemy at the same time.
That is going to be the first legal reason on the basis of which he is going to be instantly ousted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Joining us live, Javed Rana, who's an expert on politics and geo-strategic issues.
In the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geostrategic realities. In a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons.